Ayr was continuously hit by a number of plagues from 1545 to 1647, resulting in the town's port being quarantined and plague victims being removed from the town on pain of death. Mary, Queen of Scots, visited the town in 1552 and 1563. Ayr remained a significant port throughout the 16th century, exporting goods such as fish, hide and wool, and importing salt and wine. Ayr played a pivotal role in the plantation of Ulster throughout the 17th century, in which a significant number of British people settled in present-day Northern Ireland. The town provided the largest share of colonists from Great Britain, with many colonists from Ayr joining the Earl of Eglinton, Hugh Montgomery's plant in the Ards Peninsula, particularly around Newtownards, and others going on to settle around Belfast. In 1652, the town was used as a base and fortress for some of Oliver Cromwell's men. They established a large fortress along the mouth of the River Ayr and erected walls around the area just south of the river's mouth. Most of these walls remain present to this day. St. John's Tower, which sat around the centre of the fortress, was originally part of a large church, yet this was knocked down during the construction of the fort, with the tower being used for military practice. It is now protected by Friends of St. John's Tower, Frost, residents in the Ayr Fort area, which sits atop the former site of the citadel. The lands occupied by the fort were granted to the Earl of Eglinton, Alexander Montgomery, in 1663, who established the separate burgh of regality named Montgomeryston around the fort, which was eventually absorbed into the burgh of Ayr. The separate village of Alloway to the southeast of Ayr was also annexed by the town in 1691, despite numerous petitions against this to Edinburgh from residents of the village. Although the importation of French wine continued to be Ayr's most important trade during the 17th century, the port was one of the first in Scotland to establish regular trade links with the English colonies in the Americas. This commenced during the 1640s, when the English Civil War disrupted established colonial trading arrangements, and during the Cromwellian occupation there was free trade between Scotland and the English colonies. Following the 1660 restoration of the monarchy, the Navigation Acts excluded Scottish ships from this trade. Apart from a few exceptional cases, several English merchants had settled in Ayr during the Cromwellian occupation. They collaborated with local merchants in circumventing the Navigation Acts by disguising Ayr ships as English vessels. Tobacco, sugar and indigo were imported, and salted fish and meat, clothing and indentured servants were exported. Deposits of coal were found and mined in Newton during the 17th century, resulting in the town becoming a base for the industry, with coal being exported abroad from its harbour. 10. At this time, Ayr's population is estimated to have been at around 2,000. By the late 17th century and early 18th century, Ayr was widely regarded as a town in decline. 513, with Daniel Defoe remarking in A to throw the whole island of Great Britain. The capital of this country is Ayr, a seaport, and as they tell us, was formerly a large city, had a good harbour, and a great trade. I must acknowledge to you, that though I believe it never was a city, yet it has certainly been a good town, and much bigger than it is now, at present like an old beauty. It shows the ruins of a good face, but is also apparently not only decayed and declined, but decaying and declining every day, and from being the 5th town in Scotland, as the townsmen say, is now like a place so saken. The reason of its decay, the decay of its trade, so true is it, that commerce is the life of nations, of cities, towns, harbours, and of the whole prosperity of a country. What the reason of the decay of trade here was, or when it first began to decay, is hard to determine, nor are the people free to tell, and, perhaps, do not know themselves. There is a good river here, and a handsome stone bridge of 4 arches. Although the importation of French wine continued to be Ayr's most important trade during the 17th century, the port was one of the first in Scotland to establish regular trade links with the English colonies in the Americas. This commenced during the 1640s, when the English Civil War